Lesson 12. The sounds of the drum set 2. The rim click. Sounds of the drum set 2. In this lesson, I will look further at the question of the sound of the drum set, with particular attention to the typical sounds used in the accompaniment of a rhythm. The bell of the ride cymbal, the dome-shaped center of the cymbal, and then the sound of the hi-hat cymbal, which is always left half open during the accompaniment phase, as we've already stated, and a third sound, that of the rim of the snare drum, whose head is struck with the side of the drumstick. We will begin with the sound of the bell of the ride cymbal. This is obtained by striking it in one of two different ways: with the tip, or the olive as we call it, of the drumstick, or else with the shoulder. Now I will play it both ways, with the first rhythm marking the quarters on the bell. It is evident that by striking with the shoulder of the stick, the sound has much more body and is more shrill. Now I will play exercise 1, alternating 2 measures accompanying normal strokes on the cymbal, with 2 accompanying strokes on the bell. Exercise 1. To correctly mark the quarter notes, it is necessary to understand and execute correctly the lateral movement of the stick on the ride cymbal, like this. Now we'll talk about the hi-hat cymbal, which is always half open when accompanying the rhythm. We'll begin by saying that the sound of the hi-hat depends greatly on the pressure exerted on the pedal. Greater pressure produces a drier, more defined sound. Less pressure produces a mellower, dirtier sound. When playing a half-open hi-hat, I would advise you to place your heel on the floor and then press the foot against the pedal plate. In this way, you will be able to better control the size of the opening. The important thing is that the cymbals should not be too distant from each other, but in a position that allows the continual rubbing of one against the other, in order to obtain the typically aggressive, characteristic sound of the half-open hi-hat cymbal. Now I'll play alternating a pair of measures with the closed hi-hat and a pair of measures with the half-open hi-hat. Exercise 2. The rim click. Now we'll concentrate on the rim click, or rim stroke. We'll begin by saying that it is a sound we drummers use when we need less incisive sounds than those obtained from the drum head. In any case, they have different effects. To do the rim click, you must hold the stick in the usual way, between the index finger and the thumb, and position it across the head of the snare drum, being careful to leave a distance of about 4 or 5 centimeters between the end of the stick and the rim of the snare. This is very important because, based on the point where you aim the stick, the sound of the rim changes a great deal. Once you have found the point where the sound is most effective and alive, you must place the wrist in a fixed position on the head of the snare and leave the middle finger, ring finger or little finger, either resting on the head like this or in contact with the stick. I advise you to leave them open because in this way, the stick is freer to vibrate and will block it less. Once you have done this, to play you must raise the stick, keeping the lower end in contact with the head and also with the lower part of the wrist. Then you must move down again in order to strike the rim. The rim click can be played with the stick in the normal position, as in this case, or with the stick in the opposite direction, at the moment when we need a stronger sound, because it is clear that we must strike the rim with the heaviest part of the stick. For those who use the traditional grip, it is very simple and natural to turn the stick in order to obtain this sound, passing from this position to the other one and vice versa. For those who use the symmetrical hand grip, it is a little more complex to turn, a little more laborious to turn the stick, in order to play the rim click the other way. In any case, choosing how to do it is up to the drummer. Now, I will play the first rhythm in a way that will allow you to hear the sound effect of the rim click. After you have gained confidence with the rim click and the movement necessary to perform it, you should concentrate on the change of sound between the drum stroke on the head and on the rim click by playing exercise A, B, C, and D. Exercise A. Exercise B. Exercise C. Exercise D. The most common sound changes a drummer must make are those between the head and the rim of the snare, and between the hi-hat and the ride, relatively depending on the accompaniment. I advise you to begin to insert them into the songs you prefer, and I particularly suggest the song by Pino Daniele, Io per lei, independently of your musical tastes, because it is an excellent example of how the drummer applies these sound changes.